And the music was always more important than anything else, to me personally. You'll have to ask the other two.
For people...
Isn't it funny when you say that now?
Yes.
You know, it's so new to me that I always sort of, it clogs you up a bit when you say, you know, because you're so glib saying, oh, we'll ask the other three. Yeah. Now we can only ask two, which is dragging its way, but I'm sure he's okay.
Do you still recall the day that John Lennon died as if it were yesterday? Does it still haunt you?
Yes, I do. It doesn't haunt me, but you know, it's still very clear in my mind that I was in the Bahamas. I was actually doing some work on a record I was making.
My stepdaughter, Francesca, called up, Barbara's daughter, and she said, something on the news about John. So, what is it, like the shooting and things like that? Well, we don't know what it is, you know, I didn't really, I never ever went to, like, good night. And so, that drove me crazy, but you think as he's been shot, he's shot in the arm, shot in the leg. And then they came back and they said he's dead. Do you want to stop that now?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't help, you know, but it always gets me upset.
Your emotions are mad, you know what I mean? It just, you go all over the place. I mean, it's like, you don't believe it, but you have to believe it because it's a fact. But really, you don't want to believe it, and you sort of hold her at bay.
So we sat around just devastated, actually, and I was just down. And so 5 o'clock in the morning, I ordered a plane and flew to New York just to see if there was anything, you know, you can do, but you can't. But you just, you know, when you get to that position or situation, you know, you just do something, and that's what Barbara and I did. Because you couldn't have a holiday after that, you know. Mm. Yeah. I went into the Dakota.
You went to see her right after his death.
Yeah, I was in the Bahamas, and as soon as we heard, we rented a plane as early as we could, and we flew up to New York. Not that you can do anything, but you just have to go and say hello, and if there's anything, there's nothing you can do. Well, I'll say, we're here, and, you know, you want some ice cream or whatever you say, because, you know, your brain is addled at the time. But I said to her, I know how you feel. And the woman, straight as a die, in all honesty, said, no, you don't. Because no matter how close I was to him, I was not half as close as she was to him. And that blew me away, more than anything.
And he was happy.
Oh, man, they were happy. You've seen, you know, they were two people in one.
Anyway, we got on a plane, we went to New York, we got to New York to see if we could help in any way. You don't know what you're doing. And the only way we could help, we got to the Dakota, and Yoko asked us to play with Sean, and that's what Bob and I did.
And there were people while we were there shouting up, you know, to Yoko, come to the window, or Sean. Where, I mean, in fact, it would have been better if they'd all left her alone, because they're not going to bring him back. And they didn't help her by having this whole crowd outside playing his music, which is, you know, fine if they want to do that, but then why don't you play it at home? And then when we came out, I didn't need to hear people telling me how much they loved the Beatles or any of that when we just lost John, because I wasn't there to see a Beatle. I was there to see my friend, not relating to this band.
And then we got on a plane that night and we went to LA. And that's how we did it. And, you know, it's still, you know, I don't think of John every day, but it still comes up, and it would have been great if he was still here in my book, and see what he was doing, see where he's at, maybe we'd play, whatever, we'd be friends, and, you know.
Tell us about the good time. When did you see him last, and what was it like?
I saw him on the 15th of November, and I was staying in the Plaza. We went over to New York for a while, and I hadn't seen him for a while, because, you know, we see each other wherever we are, and he came over with Yoko for an hour, and we had such a great time, because they stayed 5 hours. And it didn't matter, it was a year between, we didn't see each other, it was always fine when we did, but it was a particularly great time that I had anyway.
I know how we have heard how deeply, affected certainly you were with John's death, and how painful that was. Has this become more real for you now than perhaps it was weeks or a month ago? And how has it affected you?
Well, no, it's affected everybody, and we've said this before, where, you don't realize that it's so fast that things can be over, and that, we are in the public eye, and someone can get crazy.
I mean, I cry easy, and just the other day, just because we're all sitting here, George and I watched this movie that Yoko was making about John, and I just get emotional. I still miss the man. I loved the man. I was close to the man. And he went out just in such a stupid way.
I'm really sad. I still miss John a great deal. I'll always miss him, but it's still brand new.
Ringo, has John's death made you any more aware of your own vulnerability, or has that frightened you at all, or have you changed your life at all?
Of course it has. That we're all vulnerable. You didn't really think about it before, even though it's somewhere in the back of your mind. But since then, we are all aware that any minute now, or any day now, or any morning now, goodbye.
Do you feel that you're in touch with John at times, or?
No, not right now.
Because every once in a while, with love, you look up and say, "Okay, up there, fella."
Oh, well, I believe he's okay. I mean, I believe he's got a good place up there, and he's just waiting for me to come and play the kit. And that big band in the sky.
Oh, yeah, I felt one time very strong that I was in a hotel room in L.A., and I was real down and miserable, whatever was going on. He was in the corner saying, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm being miserable." I said, "Well, come on, get it together." No, I believe, like George, on that respect, though we just did the joking bit about the eggs, that we do continue. And I do believe in God.
And I believe he's up there with Jimi Hendrix and Elvis and all the rest of them. Because they're probably the ones who stay out all night. The rest are just flying around in the day saying, "Isn't it nice here?" All the rockers are up there. "Hey, is it 9 o'clock at night? Let's get out there."
Are they playing together? Is Elvis singing with John?
Wouldn't make well, I mean, besides laughing, it's got to be a great band up there. Because we've lost a lot of good people.
Is George well?
Yeah,
well, George is very well right now, thank you.
Did you see that in the paper, that he has cancer?
No, he had a problem with cancer, and he's had it removed.
Oh, he has?
Yeah.
So he's fine?
So he's good, yeah.
Oh, he is good. That's good to hear.
The last weeks of George's life, he was in Switzerland, and I went to see him, and he was very ill. And he could only lay down. And while he was being ill and I'd come to see him, I was going to Boston because my daughter had a brain tumor. And I said, "Well, I've got to go. I've got to go to Boston." And he goes, it was the last words I heard him say, actually. And he said, "Do you want me to come with you?" Oh, God. So, that's the incredible side of George.
George has gone physically, but spiritually, he's still with us through his friendship with me and his music. So the song is about that. He's still with us anyway.
Right.
For me, it was a nice way to say, I knew George loved me, I love George, and this is a song for him.
Above all the music and the noise and everything else, that fundamentally you were friends.
Yeah, we were. I had 3 brothers, and 2 of them have gone. And yeah, I think of George and John, things will happen, they come to mind. And I still miss them, but we were friends, and for me, we were brothers. Yeah, I still miss them. But I wonder sometimes now, would we get together? We don't know.